Now, the last chapter is entitled My Funk to You, or a Prelude to the Funk, which is my interpretation of Parliament Funkadelic, which my generation, 60s and 70s, babies that were born during this time, people even in the 50s, late 50s, did not understand the true meaning or concept of George Clinton's funk. Funk was just a word that should have been supplemented by the word think or past tense thought. It was giving you something to think about. When I said we funk, I was saying we think, we as a whole. Let's see if you can get to this lyric. Peck me lightly like a woodpecker with a headache, because it's cheaper to funk than it is to pay attention. That probably went over a lot of people's heads. But when you think about it, it's very simple. Back in the South, I said peck me lightly like a woodpecker. Back in the South, we call white people peckerwoods. It just said woodpecker. And it said peck me lightly. And peckerwood to me is the establishment. It doesn't mean, I don't care if you're black or white, Hispanic, whatever, you know. When you're pecking me, it's things that you are keeping me off balance of. So it's saying peck me lightly. So my hand represents the woodpecker, and it's pecking me lightly. And it tells you it's cheaper to think. It's cheaper to think than it is to pay attention. If you think about what I say, you can get it. But if you pay attention, which means it's more concentration, you'll miss the point. So it's different things of that sort. When they constantly saying flashlight, right now, the light is not an instrument that eludes illumination or gives illumination. What the light is the ultimate light. 500,000 kilowatts of P-funk power, of pure thought power. That flashlight that we're looking at is that S-U-N, the sun. Everybody's got a little light under the sun shining on the kingdom, the thought, the funk, shining on the funk. So it's the thought that this is the first part of your body that the light of the sun hits. It's the dome, it's the head, the brain. But what are you doing with it? Now, I constantly alluded to the two questions earlier. I don't know how much time I have left. So the questions that I alluded to are your opinions only. And the first question was, what two things do you feel that was the greatest gift that the Creator could have given you? One is life, and I think most people will agree to that. The second, in my opinion, is imagination. Because the root word of imagination is image. Aren't we all in the image of the Creator? Isn't it our imagination that gives us our creative juices that has us creating, inventing, and producing? People, schools, institutions do not allude to you being a producer, a inventor, or a creator. They want you to be a consumer. No, that's not the plan of the Creator. The other thing I alluded to, what in this world would bring us, people as a whole, together? I hate to say it, but it's man-made destructions and natural disasters. And I should have said man-made disasters. Excuse me. Man-made disasters and natural disasters. Because, think about it. You've always heard a saying as we're at our best when things are at its worst. Hurricane Katrina, the tsunami. When things like this happened, people around the world got together and did what we were supposed to do. Right now, wars, man-made disasters, and the economical fall of America, which is the fall of the world. This is bringing us together. And it's a reason for it, because when we go through natural disasters, we don't stay on that page. After things get better, we go back to the same way we were. Instead of keeping on track and constantly doing that which we are doing, which kept us or put us at our best. It's a reason that things happen. Things are gonna happen if we all don't fall down or get down to the point where we can all come up at the same time. Then we will start seeing more and more natural disasters. because this man-made disaster, you still have favoritism of companies getting bailed out, this, that, and the other, but nobody truly looks at the people. So it's so much that I would love to get into, but please get a copy of this book, which is entitled These Are Just Thought-Provoking Possibilities, subtitle Take the Chain Off Your Brain. One of the biggest things I like to urge to the people is that the reader should approach this book and any other book as only a pointer or a guide for that which you seek. We must understand that real knowledge is to know the extent of one's own ignorance. I found mine. I'm only here to help you find yours. For once you understand true knowledge, you understand how much you truly know in the realm of our universe, which is very, very little. Our time on this planet is a minute. And I mentioned things like that. In a minute, we'll be right on time. But will it take that minute of your life, which is your lifetime, that you will truly understand? Most people can't give you the truth because they don't understand the truth. Another thing that my sayings that I've come up with is that examine those who search for the truth, but doubt those who claim to know it. See, because how much does anyone truly know? Like I said, I know my ignorance and I go from there. So please, parents, adults, children, learn to work with each other, because this is why we're going through this economical change that we're going through. Remember that starvation of desperation is the motivation of participation, which is saying in so many words, like I alluded to earlier, that we're at our best when things are at its worst. So our economical starvation brings on our desperation that starts the motivation of humanity's participation. How long do we have to go down before we come up? So please come up out of this mess. It's the mind first. Alluding to the book, you see the brain with a chain and a light bulb. The light bulb's on. It's time for you to take that chain off your brain and stop letting America or letting any institution lead you astray. Take the time out. Doubt me, but give me the benefit of the doubt. I thank you, and hopefully I'll talk to you again real soon. Peace.